Hi everyone, welcome to this video. Now in this video, we're going to be going over why you should be avoiding hard coding values into your Bubble application, including what you should be doing instead, which is using app variables. We're going to explain to you what these are, so let's get into it. So I'm going to explain to you what hard coding is and why app variables are useful through the use of an example. But before we even get into that, I first want to highlight to you what a hard coded value is. And what this is from a definitional perspective is that it's when you fix the data or parameters that you have in your Bubble application in a way that they can't be altered without modifying the program itself. So that might be a little bit confusing to understand, but if we look at our editor, what we have here is we actually have a workflow which has a hard-coded value in it just down here. So to give you a bit of an understanding of what this workflow is we're sitting here on a checkout page and a user can add products to cart and then they can check it out. And when they click pay now or that checkout button, we charge the user using a saved credit card. So we charge them the amount, which is the order's total price, so the total order amount that they have. And then we actually are running a marketplace. So the payee of this transaction is another user. So the money is going from the buyer to a seller, but we collect an app fee, and the app fee that we want to charge is 10% of the total order. So what I have here is I've got the app fee selected here as var orders order total price. So the total price multiplied by 0.1. So this is a hard coded value because I've written 0.1 directly into the workflow itself. And the reason why we also know that it's a hard coded value is to actually alter my app fee. So if I wanted to change this to 20% and I needed to change it to 0.2, what I actually need to do to make this change live is I need to go 0.2, and then I would actually have to deploy my application to live to make this hard-coded value or this updated app fee actually live and being current on our platform. So going back to that definition, it's a hard-coded value because it can't be altered without us actually deploying our entire application to live. Now, in addition to that shortcoming of hard coding requiring a deployment to go live, another shortcoming is it's not very scalable to hard code values within our application. So just say that we had this charge a user using a saved credit card flow in multiple pages. So we had it on the checkout page, but then we had like a very fast checkout option on the product page as well. What we would then have is this 0.2 value hard coded in multiple places across our application. It would be difficult in this case, for example, if we did need to actually update our app fee, because then we need to go through our entire application, use the search to try and find these app fees, and then update each one manually, right? That's really time consuming, ineffective, and it's prone to errors because I could easily just create an accidental spelling error here, which really throws off my app fee. So what we actually do instead is we use a variable. And what a variable is it's a value or a placeholder which can change depending on the conditions or information that it passed through to the program, right? So for this example, instead of providing the hard-coded value of 0.2, I would provide the variable of app fee, right? And then I would write in app fee in every single place that I am using a charge a user using a saved credit card workflow, so that payment workflow. And the reason why this is valuable is now instead of going through every workflow and updating the app fee, just say to 0.1 if I need to, I can actually just reassign the app fee with the value of 0.1 instead of it having to say 0.2, okay? And the way that we set up these app variables is we actually save this information on the database, okay? So if I jump over to my data tab, I have a data type which comes naturally with Canvas called app variables, and I assign all my app variables here. And what I have is I have this one called app fee, which is assigned a number. All right. So what I have to do now that I have this app variable set up is I jump back over to my workflow tab, and what I need to do is I need to actually call this value. So what I need to do is I go for do a search for app variables first item app fee. Okay, and now what I have is I have my app fee assigned to that app variable, and if I need to update my app variable, instead of updating the hard coding, I jump over to my database, go to app data, go to all app variables. If I don't have an entry, I can create a new entry, but as I already have an entry, all I need to do is I need to update this one in my development or even in my live database. And that allows me to update my app fee without having to deploy my entire application. What you can also see here on the screen is we only have one data thing for app settings. So when we do want to add additional app variables, we actually add additional data fields and we don't add additional things in our database. Something that I do also highlight, and one more change that we need to make, is we actually want to reference this information from our hidden variable group. So as you are aware, the hidden variable group just allows us to store information in the background so that we can reference it from multiple areas on the page. So what I would actually like to do is, instead of directly referring to the app fee search here, it is best practice to actually store that variable in the hidden variable pop-up and then reference it as var app fee. So our data source here is just that exact same thing. So we're searching for the app variable, first item app fee. And then in our workflow, instead of doing this complicated search, what we are going to do is we're actually just going to refer to var app fees number. So that's a little bit more effective, again, for the same reasons. If you're referring to the app fee in multiple places on that same page in workflows, instead of having to write the do a search for, which you may make a mistake, it is more effective and more scalable to just store it in one place and then actually reference it from the workflow tab. And this is actually a common setup that we use straight off the bat in the Canvas template. So for example, here we have the app settings variable, and you can see the data source is just searching for the app settings first item. And we refer to this on our page to display things like the name or the logo as well. Alrighty, so in our next video, we're going to be going over how to set up and plan our database.